right, here we go, everybody. Welcome to Snatches and Scotch. We're hanging out here with Wod Doc. Secret, his actual name is Tim. But we got introduced to Tim from Wod Doc. He is Wod Doc. And we started talking about some really, really cool stuff. And you're a sports chiro by trade. And also you do a lot of strength and conditioning.
Right.
And he's the man after my own heart because he's not the kind of guy you go to that gives you a little bit of 1-2 rub, and that came out so wrong.
Yeah. Hey, with the right amount of scotch, we give everyone a 1-2 rub, right?
And a little stim here and there and this and that. He actually does a good job with athletes, getting them not only pain-free, but very, very functional for what they need in terms of performance. And I love that because when I work with people, I hate it when people say, I want to go to physiotherapy because my shoulder hurts. I'm like, well, shit, what are you going to do after your shoulder stops hurting? Because it's going to come back, right? So I feel like that's what you do. That's what you specialize in.
Yeah.
Let's tell us a little bit about the whole Wod Doc.
So Wod Doc is a little bit separate from what I do, but I think that we're definitely on the same track there. When I go ahead and I work with athletes, I think there's a big difference between acute recovery, like somebody has pain and then we get them out of that pain, and then functionally sufficient to re-begin or reinitiate their competitive training, especially the more elite athletes who are under higher workloads, more repetitive strain, stress, wear and tear, all those type of things.
Okay.
So what we try to do is we first get them out of pain. Then that's the first thing, right? But then bring them up into where they're functionally sufficient to begin those additional workouts. So there's an element of strength training, there's an element of stability training, there's an element of rehab training, and I think that where we were on the same page and we were so together was these workouts should still be hard, right? Because when you go out there and you start training again, that's hard.
So when you're trying to lift a box for your kids, you should be able to do it without being in pain.
You should never be limited by anything that you do within your normal everyday life by your capacity to do it, right? I
Agreed.
mean, if I live in the office where people come in, they're like, oh man, I don't want to go shopping today. I can't walk around the mall all day long. And I'm like, really? Like that's a day off.
Yeah.
I'll walk around the mall. We'll go to the fair. We'll go to the movies. Anything else you want to do, right?
You should go meet up Helena, his wife.
My wife will take you everywhere, even when the last thing you want to do is go out. You could be sick. You could be broken.
You go to the zoo or the fair.
Fuck,
you're
it's
spending.
cold outside.
You go to the zoo or the fair. You're spending 12 hours with Helena.
And we're walking around and around and around. I love you, Helena, but we don't need to walk that much. Anyways.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess so. The Wod Doc came about because I was always in the sports and conditioning and strength and conditioning world, and I was kind of like one of the, I don't want to say I was original in CrossFit because by no means did I start CrossFit, but I definitely followed it since it was just like a page that had workouts on it, and Dave Castro was on his ranch, right? So as I came up in the medical community and we started CrossFit, it was young sport, and you heard every single dirty dogma that's out there.
Yeah.
You know, like the CrossFit's only for a tribe or a cult, and everybody just cares about reps, and everyone gets hurt, and you know, like you puking on the ground, and that's the only cool workout and stuff like every single one. So, but as I coached myself, I realized that it's no more dangerous than any other sport you do. I grew up as a wrestler, right? So wrestling's obviously a physically demanding sport. I've done 4 sports in high school and then 2 sports in college, and both of those, you know, like every sport has its inherent abilities to get inherent risk, abilities to get hurt. But what I found is that people don't walk into a gym wanting to get hurt. They walk into a gym and they accidentally get hurt because they're uneducated. Yeah. And when you looked at the sport as it was growing up, it's just that people weren't educated as much as they could have been. We had these people that came out there and they may have not been strength coaches. They may or may not have been strength coaches. And a lot of good coaches out there, they were either scared to say something to people, like, you know, like
that's my favorite. Oh, it's time's running. We can't stop them from cycling like shit. No, time's running.
And you get these people, and then they're afraid to like insult people or something like that. Like, oh man, maybe that person will come back in the gym again. You know, but so my thing was, it has nothing to do with CrossFit being more dangerous than any other sport. It has to do with education. If we can only re-educate people, then we can inherently make them better, right? So I started a page. It's 570 days ago now. I post a 3 to 5 minute video every single day on technique, mobility, nutrition, competitive nature of the sport, and we collect things from strength and conditioning coaches, PTs, physios, chiros, anybody that has useful information that we can collect and kind of navigate and kind of give something towards the functional fitness community, then that's what goes on there, and many people contribute. It's not just me. I can't by any means say that I come up with everything.
And it's a free blog.
Free blog, right?
Free
exactly.
info.
Beautiful, man.
This is the beautiful part about CrossFit. You get so much education, so much learning, and it doesn't cost you anything.
Nope.
I have this saying out there. I said the only worthless knowledge is the knowledge you don't share, and that's something that I really live by myself. And I don't know. I probably didn't make it. It's probably a bastardized comment from somebody else said.
yeah.
But I love
you
it.
made that shit.
You know what?
I
I never heard it before, so that's all you.
It's the first time I heard it.
I'm gonna get it tattooed on my body.
Whoa, where?
Oh, depends on how many scotch.
Cool, man. So, what do you do specifically with athletes? Like, you've worked with some pretty decent athletes. What would you do with? So, for example, me, I'm not a decent athlete. I'm a quarter decent athlete. So I strained my extensors here about a month and a half ago. It's my pinky and my ring finger, and it goes up, and I get excruciating elbow pain. I have a hard time with flexion, and extension's fine, but extension here hurts. I've done stim, I've done my little plates, 1-2 exercises. It's gotten better, the pain's gone down. Mm-hmm. I don't have pain lifting, but it feels like it's on a daily basis. It's just enough pain to be annoying.
Man, you're putting me on the spot with treatment protocols, right? So, I mean, everybody kind of has their own approach to it.
Yeah.
I'm huge with soft tissue and
like ART stuff.
Yeah, so I do a bunch of ART. I do a bunch of instrument assisted. I love cold laser for these type of things.
Oh, cool.
Tendinopathies and tendinitises, they respond really well.
The insertion,
they respond really well to cold laser, especially myotendinous junction injuries.
Yeah.
And I try not to ever talk too technical, but obviously as a physio, you definitely are on that.
I'm a physio assistant. I'm not a physio. So what you're saying is it's okay for people to go and get the machines done, and as long as the pain goes away, and then from there you take them back to where they want to be in terms of like their physical competitiveness, and right. So you start off at a very small level, and then you progress.
Absolutely. I think that people come in, the first step is to get rid of that acute pain. But the whole reason why you're getting rid of that pain is it's just the starting point to allow the rehabilitation process to start. Because if you don't ever stabilize and strengthen that area, then it doesn't matter until that repetitive strain is going to come back within. It's not if, it's just when, right? So we forget so much. I'm huge on stability, right? Everyone talks about mobility. Kelly Starr has done an awesome job at making mobility like apparent to everyone, and I think that's
but mobility, stability, and flexibility together. Right. It's not.
Exactly.
They're not separate, guys.
Yeah.
No, never.
Absolutely not. So to be stable, there's two components, right? You need the neurologic control, so you need to be able to fire off whatever those muscles are in a coordinated fashion to do whatever particular movement you're looking for, right? And then you also need the strength of that neurologic control, right? So I'm standing right here, right? And I'm neurologically competent to stand. You put 1,000 pounds on my back, it doesn't matter whether I know neurologically how to stabilize myself.
Yeah.
I'm physically not strong enough to hold 1,000 pounds. The strength isn't there. So we need to have both of those elements to kind of safeguard ourselves from continual injury. So injury, get rid of acute injury. Learn how to go through these rehabilitative things. If we have to restore mobility, restore mobility because you need to earn that position. Yeah. And then you need to stabilize and strengthen on top of that. And that's what you got to do.
I was going to ask, so I was listening to Sil tell you about his injury.
My first sip here.
Yeah, enjoy. But when you have an athlete that comes in that's so aware of their body and they know what's going on, is it easier to treat, or if you get somebody like me that says my wrist hurts? Right, where because where does it hurt? How does it feel?
Right?
What you know what I mean? So for you to treat or address the different athletes that'll come in, different levels of athletes, do you find one more challenging than the other, or?
Absolutely, and I would say the person that comes in and points right to it with their own diagnosis is the most difficult to treat. Okay. Because that saying out there.
My bad.
No, is because that he who creates a site of pain is often lost, and so is his patient, right? I mean that's who's that? Louis?
I have never heard that before.
Andrew Fleming, I think.
Okay.
Some great guy said it, that soft tissue guy who's now, I'm going to get 1,000 comments because I forgot his first name. This is Scotch, but
listen, you got the quote right. Don't give him a hard time. All right.
but so where your injury arises and where pain occurs isn't always the source of dysfunction. So people come in and they have like, they Google searched it and they know exactly what's wrong, and they
WebMD?
Yeah, WebMD'd it. Like,
oh,
and they
God,
come
yeah.
back. They got 2 PhDs in internet searches, and they come back and they're like, this is what I want. And a lot of times I'll get into the conversation like, listen, bro, this isn't McDonald's. You can't just order a number one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an educated opinion.
Yeah.
You can take it or leave it. There's no reason why you have to get treated by me.
Yeah.
But this is how we're going to give you like prime examples. I mean, look at like, the ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
We have hip problems, or we have back problems that are associated to hip problems, or we have knee problems that are associated to hip problems, or we have shoulder problems, elbow
That's my
problems
favorite.
that are associated to.
That's my favorite. They come in, oh, my knee hurts, need to fix my knee. Like, I need to stretch out my knee. I'm like, what? Like,
and then you look at that valgus position.
Yeah, let's work on your hips a little bit, buddy. Like, your hips are all mangled.
No, my hips are fine, bro. My hips are okay. It's my knee.
My hips don't hurt. They're fine. I'm like,
sorry,
I know they're fine.
I'm like, my head's going like this.
No, so for sure.
So I think that's definitely the thing for me is like when people don't know anything, sometimes they're easier to treat. However,
it's kind of like coaching a CrossFit athlete.
Yeah. However, the feedback on people that know everything that's going on with their body
more in tune.
It's more in tune. You can fine tune that treatment paradigm so much easier.
Yeah. But I guess also if you're a high level athlete, you're willing to take coaching, medical coaching in this case, right? So it's like, they're not going to argue per se with your diagnoses or your course of action or treatment, right? Like they're more willing to accept it.
Yeah, the best thing I could say about a competitive athlete is if you tell them to walk over in the corner and stand in their head for an hour, and that's going to make them better, they're going to try it.
Okay.
They're going to listen to it. Their compliance is 50,000 times higher than the average person because the average person doesn't have a lot of motivation to get better.
So you know what it is?
That's a very good point.
Yeah, it's the average people. Well,
that's a very good point because here's the issue. I think this is the issue with the medical field. Okay, all medical fields. People go to physios, chiros, osteopaths, family doctors when they get hurt, when they're injured, when they have acute injuries, when they have pain. Insurance companies in Canada are fantastic, whole hip and all that stuff. They'll cover that stuff, but only if you're hurt.
Yeah. They don't want to hear anything about.
So, for example, I work with the physio and I do all the treatment. Like he does the assessments, I do all the programming and treatment. And I have 10-year-old hockey kids who are on the road to being effed up big time. Yeah. Like their body is not ready to play sport. Like they're just bad. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you need to go to your family doctor, tell them that your back hurts and you play hockey. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get a doctor's note to be able to pay for physio.
Wait.
That's how messed up it is. Because without the pain, he's not to do physio. But I know that he needs to have that stability training because if he doesn't, it's just a matter of time of him just destroying his body. Like in Canada, we have 13, 15-year-old kids getting reconstructive knee surgeries.
That's a horrible thing, too, right?
At 14, 15. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole we can jump down in. How
we're not going to go down there.
Kids have no athletic development anymore. And
no.
They're special.
My whole point is that, taking care of yourself is more than just feeling pain and getting rid of pain.
Yeah.
And the issue with the general population, I think that's why the CrossFit community is a little bit different, is that once you get rid of pain, you want to get back to that athletic performance and you continue treatment.
Well, yeah.
Most people just stop treatment and be like, oh, that physio is shit because like I got the pain was gone, but I just came back 2 weeks later. I'm like, really? It wasn't the physio. You're an asshole.
Whose fault was that?
You just didn't do any work at home. No homework.
You know what it is? Everyone wants to be fixed, but nobody wants to get better.
Exactly.
Right? And until you get better, you're going to constantly need to be fixed.
And people feel entitled. You people out there, you feel entitled to squatting correctly. You feel entitled to be able to lift correctly. You're not, like you said, you have to earn.
You want that instant gratification.
But you have to earn those positions. You have to earn your fitness. So
we talk all the time about the difference between foundational strength and sport-specific, skill-specific, movement-specific strength, right?
Yeah.
People a lot of times are very athletically talented, and they skip right past the foundational strength for the sport-specific, gratification, right? So the best example I can give you is people don't have enough shoulder integrity to shoulder press whatever that weight might be, but they have extraordinarily good hips so they can jerk a whole bunch because they can throw the weight up there and they can somehow stabilize it, right? And they work all around to do it. But they don't have the shoulder integrity to support the weight that they're doing, but they're just athletically gifted. And that's what we find. If we can backtrack them and say, listen, we need to build that foundation. We need a stone foundation on a straw house rather than a straw foundation on a stone house. I think you'd see a lot less injury.
I feel like you're preaching to me right now because, I think I can only like strict press. I think my best is 185, but really I can only strict like 150 right now, and I could jerk 300 plus overhead.
Yeah.
Shit. So that's probably me. And I had an injury from basketball. I fell off a rim, so I definitely have injuries. I have like instability and weakness in my shoulders. I know I do.
Yeah, we'll line you
I work
up
on it a little bit, but not enough. But
but that's it.
You're definitely preaching to me right there, brother. No, that's a great point, man. We had a bunch of interviews with like Marcus Hunt from the Cincinnati Bengals, who never played football his whole life, walked on in college and gone to the NFL. Boom. Why? Because he had foundational strength. He was an overall generalist. He was a track star. He did everything in track and field. At 300 pounds, he was doing decathlons. So like this guy was a phenomenal athlete before he became a player. But with organized sport, it's almost making it impossible for kids to go through that first foundational, build that base of the pyramid before they become players.
You know what? I think now I'm seeing it slowly, right? It's changing where it's becoming less specialized, where you're doing more things. You're not just on the ice skating or practicing. You're not just on the football field, right? You're actually getting into the gym and strengthening. Now, is it where it needs to be? No, right? But I think
that's a two-part problem. One is everyone wants to be a professional, right? So everyone specializes so early. But it raises the good question that you said. Have you ever seen, like, I'm sure you all grown up with those kids, like that one kid in high school that was just good at every fucking sport he did, right? Just every single thing. And if you look at them, it's probably not that they were that skill specific. They weren't the number one athlete in every single thing, but they were just good at every. It didn't matter if they were doing kickball, softball, throwing darts. It didn't matter, playing chess. They were just athletically good at every sport. And if you looked at that, that's probably because they had the foundational capacity to do whatever. They had the ability to hip hinge. They had the ability to move side to side. They had control of all three planes of motion.
They were probably poor and couldn't afford Nintendo. That's what it was.
No, to speak to that
that's
point,
exactly
because I think what ends up happening is that when we were growing up, we played everything.
Oh God,
every sport. We were a part of everything.
I played everything.
So
I did hopscotch because I had nothing else to do. I was like, all right. I told my sister Jen, I was like, all right, okay, whatever.
And when we had nothing to play, we played British Bulldog, where everyone just one guy in the middle, everyone runs, and you try to tackle as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
So we were exposed because we didn't specialize. As we grew up, as we got older, we went into specific sports. But
and it was always like three sports. It wasn't like growing up, it wasn't like I played football, I played basketball. We played like basketball, soccer, football. We did always a bunch of sports.
So I think that diversity and that variety exposes your body to a lot of different movements that you wouldn't typically get if you were specialized.
Absolutely. I think that's 100%. I think people need to build foundational capacity, and that comes in the form of strength, stability, and mobility. Right. And however they do that, by the more diversity that they're exposed to, the more that they're going to develop.
So you're basically telling people just to do CrossFit.
Do CrossFit first and then do something else.
Well, take it easy. Don't try to be like games that's all on topic, but do some functional movements, get into CrossFit, get varied, and you'll be better. I see that with my young athletes all the time. 10-year-olds doing CrossFit. Some of them drop out of hockey and just want to do CrossFit, but do CrossFit, you're gonna
hockey
get better.
Players make awesome CrossFitters.
By the way. Man, they're because they're high intensity athletes, right? So let's wrap this up. Last thing I want to say is, what are three things in your opinion that the general population? I know shit. Grab a drink. What are three things that CrossFitters absolutely need to be doing more regularly as a general population? And it could be anything like shoulder strength. It could be anything in your opinion.
I think there's only really one thing, and that's maintenance. All right, in general, right? So CrossFitters are great at doing whatever they're prescribed to do, but they're really bad at taking care of their bodies. Every machine, all right, needs maintenance, and our body is a machine whether you like it or not. It's a freaking intricate one, right? But it's still a machine, so it still has to be taken care of. Now, whether you take care of it or whether you take it to the shop, it still needs maintenance, right? That's my biggest thing. But as far as what
do you mean by maintenance? What exactly is maintenance?
So that's doing accessory motions, right? That's whatever. I guess the biggest things, the way I look at it is do you have enough range of motion to get into positions that you ask, right? Or to positions that are asked of you. And if you do have those, then now we have to worry about stabilization and
in
strength
those positions.
in those positions.
Yeah.
And that's what I would work on there. But if you don't have the mobility, it doesn't matter how strong or how stable you get in those.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's harder for you. It takes more effort to be in a position that you can't get into.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're going to do that, it's so much easier to get stronger just by doing into that position, right? So if I can't squat to full depth, for me to get into full depth squat takes a lot more energy than the person that could just sit there like and eat breakfast. Right? So I'm naturally stronger because I'm not using as much energy to be in that position. And that's what like the greats do. Like, you know, if you look at like somebody like Rich Froning, what he's so great is because he can effortlessly get into these positions, and time again he is so efficient. Right? So he uses less energy for every single repetition, and that adds up over and over again, and then sooner or later.
And you guys out there understand that. I mean, like, think about the days you come in cold into the gym, you have a shitty warm up, and then you jump into thrusters, do Fran, and you go on broken on thrusters. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
You're like 21, and it's just like kind of up there.
So you know,
that never happens with me, by the way. I was just hypothetical situation.
but you make absolutely right. So, you know, warm up correctly, take care of yourself. You know, at home.
I think cool down is such an important point too that no one
and
does.
What we do is a lot of static stretching, and you can talk and chill. You're tired. Exactly. You're prepped. So that's that. Anything else in cool down?
You know, you always try to hit target spots, right? So hot spots. So for each person, that's going to be independent of them. So you do a general cool down. I think there's some programs out there that do really good job at generalizing, you know, like mobility and stability programs. But you still have to take whatever bothers you, because again, just like there's specific training, there's specific cool downs and specific warm ups.
That's a great idea. Just give me we have pictures of me going to do mobility stuff on the wall. So people come early, they can just kind of jump in and pick one thing that they're kind of dealing with.
Right.
But that'd be a really good idea to do for cool down as well. Just say, hey, this is your cool down options. 5 options. Go from head to toe. That's fantastic. That's a great idea.
So everyone forgets about cool down, but that's the time when your tissues are most acceptable to that, what they call creep, right?
Yes.
You know, like, so you already stressed everything out. You already did everything that you caused the damage that's going to initiate the healing process.
Your CNS is going to fight you on that one. It's already tired.
And now you're going to jump in your car and you're just going to drive home, and you're like, man, that's where I think most damage is done.
Okay.
Cool. So we're going to wrap it up. It's a fantastic conversation. If you guys don't know Wod Doc, check it out. Anything you want to shout out or promote? Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, man. So I'm on just about every social media there is out there: Facebook, Instagram, Telescope, Periscope, Snapchat. I have a website. It's called woddoc.com. That's woddoc.com, or thewoddoc.com. That you can use either one. I think that's all of them. I think Cool. Any social media, type in WODDOC.
Any sponsors, partners, friends you want to shout out to at all?
I'm a Lone Star right now.
And he, well,
anyone's out there? Anyone's out there?
Anybody want to help him out? Do it up. All right, man. So real quick, good, great conversation. Hope we meet again.
Yeah,
at these
we're gonna
cool
do
events.
It. Absolutely.
And talk again about more freshness.
All right.
Thank you so much. Hey, and thanks for not making me drink alone. Huh?
All right, brother.
Never.
Thank you, guys.
All right, take it easy.
Peace out.
All right.
How was that? All right.
Beautiful. Did you enjoy yourself?